an update on my Jeep. I wanted to talk about what's going on with it right now and some of the problems I've been having. Alright, so I've been having an electrical short that I can't find, so I decided to take out the wiring harness. And in order to get the wiring harness out, I had to take the dash off so that I could get one of the pigtails through the firewall. It's up here in the corner, and one of these pigtails down here was wrapped around it, and I couldn't get it out, so I ended up, I think it was this guy right here, I ended up having to take the dash off, steering wheel off, center console, everything. It's all one big rabbit hole. So I took the heater core out, and I noticed, I have it over here, that there's a little door here that's supposed to block off the air, and it's busted. So I thought, oh, I'll just go to a junkyard and get a new one and switch it out, and it'll be easy and it'll be done. So I went to a junkyard and I found one, and the doors are all good. But I noticed that there are a few differences. One, this is different, but it's still vacuum actuated, so it should be fine. You can see the old one is just a different style, but does the same thing. It's actuated by vacuum, so it should be good. This is the connector for the vacuum, which is slightly different than the one on here, but I think that wouldn't be an issue. They probably mate together. The issue that I found is when you turn this over, you can see that the blend door actuator is electronic. So the blend door actuator on the 97 is cable. So when you turn the knob, it pulls this and it actuates the blend door manually. Which I happened to grab the AC controls from the 2000 that I got it out of. You can see this is where they connect the vacuum. But you turn it over and you look at the blend door, the temperature control, and it's electronic. And we'll go to the Jeep. Move the dash. And here's my controller. I took it all apart, but it's not electronic, and there's no harness. There's no wiring harness to control it. So I either would need to take a dash from a 2000, or what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch the top of this box that has the doors that I want onto the bottom of this box, so I can keep my cable actuated blend door and still get the new vents that I need. And I'll probably end up swapping out this is the condenser core right here, and this is the heater core right here. It sits in here. I'll take a look at those and make sure that those are good. Pick the best ones out of the options that I have and put it back in the Jeep, and then I can start putting it back together. And I took out the wiring harness. So, normally there's a bunch of wires that go here and they connect to the coil and the injectors and the ECU over here. But I pulled all those out and I've been trying to find the short. So if you ever want to pull your wiring harness, you'll notice it goes through the firewall right here in the driver footwell. Then it goes through right here underneath the cowl to the windshield wipers. And it's part of the harness. The wiring harness comes down here with the tubes in it that carry your washer fluid. So that goes right through this hole here, and it comes up and goes around and then up through that hole right there. And then it keeps going. There's another hole right there through the firewall for the, I think it's the transmission module, control, whatever you call it. And then this hole here is the heater core. So you gotta take off your heating lines and your coolant lines. This one is for the fan. And then the last place is right there for the wiring harness goes through and goes into your fuse panel on the passenger footwell. I also wanted to show you guys, I got a NP231 transfer case from TJ, and I was trying to install it tonight. So here is my stock 242, and you can see it has a medium length input shaft, and this one has a long length input shaft. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do. Maybe an option is cutting this down, you know, just marking it, taking a grinder and cutting it off, or just sell it and find a 231 from an XJ and do the slip yoke eliminator kit again and install that. And you can see maybe a little bit in the video, the 242 is clocked a little bit different than the 231. Maybe you can see it better from this angle. It looks like the 231 is a little bit higher, which I think would be a good thing. If it's clocked higher, it'll be up further under the body and out of the way for rocks to hit. But if it were the other way, then it would be bad. It'd be hanging down further, and you wouldn't get as good of ground clearance. So if you have any questions about a heater core box, or about removing your dash in your XJ, pretty much become an expert, and just ask me questions in the comments, and I'll be happy to answer.